Hey, what's going on, guys? Just for some of you out there, I'm gonna try to do this without laughing too much, but it's kind of a serious problem right now. There's just not enough people that have enough toilet paper. So here's a way to do to substitute yourself for toilet paper if you can't get enough toilet paper. Here we go. When society collapses and the grocery store shelves are empty, does that sound like something that we're going through right now? For an extended period of time, people will still need to use the toilet, and that means they will still need toilet paper. Even if it's an end of the world type event, if it is simply a winter storm that halts the delivery of good for 2 weeks and you run out of toilet paper, you are going to need to use something to get you through. Fortunately, there are homemade substitutes for toilet paper that you can generally find around your home. Standard alternatives. You might be out of toilet paper, but you might still have other materials around the house that would work well as a substitute for toilet paper. I'm talking about other store-bought materials such as facial tissues like Kleenex, paper towels, baby wipes. Just don't flush these last two options as they might clog up your toilet, but chances are if you have run out of toilet paper, you are out of these as well. For this reason, let's take a look at other options you can find in and around the house. Found around the house. Other than materials mentioned above that you can buy at the store and that can substitute for toilet paper, there are other materials that you might have laying around your home that would work as well. Here are some suggestions. Now, before I get into it, let's go back to the Austin Powers movie where they had seashells. Next, we're going to go ahead and check out this paper. Paper can be newspaper, printer paper, notebook paper, or any other paper you can find. It's not as soft as toilet paper, but it certainly does the job. It is ideal to crumble up the paper a lot to soften it. The paper you can use be burned afterwards for easy disposal. Right. What a smell, right? Nothing like a good old campfire. Sponge. A damp sponge can be used to wipe after using the toilet. This was common practice in ancient Rome, where they used to put a sponge of the end of a stick and clean themselves with that. Wow, what a way. Just know that if the sponge isn't cleaned properly, it can easily harbor bacteria. You don't say. So after each use, you should soak it in bleach water or boil it and then rinse it out. Water. Yes, you can use water to actually clean your bottom. Whether you have the water indoors or find it outside, water will rinse away anything you need to clean off yourself. You can use it in a spray bottle, get a portable bidet, use a hose, or get snow if it's winter. Snowballs work wonders. You can fill your left hand and water and wash yourself and then wash your hands very well when you are done. This is what is done in many countries where they simply don't have the luxury of toilet paper. Cloth. That's right. Now you guys are going to start buying cloths and towels and bath towels to now wipe yourself. So I bet that's going to be off the shelves here pretty soon as well. You probably have all sorts of clothing lying around the house. Perhaps you have old nightgowns and PJs, old bed sheets and old towels, or any other old clothes or materials made out of fabric. The cloth is a great alternative when you are out of toilet paper, and many self-sufficient folks choose to use cloth wipes despite having access to toilet paper. You can dampen it if you need and wash and reuse. Right. Make it ideal for the whole family. Found outdoors. If you don't have any materials in your home that would work as a substitute for toilet paper, or you are caught away from home, then you need to start looking outside. Fortunately, nature has supplied us with so many great natural butt wipes that you might be surprised how easy it is to get by without toilet paper. Check out these options. Leaves. Yes, this is obvious option for apparent reasons. There are leaves everywhere out there. They are big, soft, and abundant in supply. Leaves you can use include maple, mullein, large leaf aster, lumberjack toilet paper, cottonwood, hazelnut, thimbleberry, fuzzy lamb's ear, and grape. Of course, there are plenty of other options. The most important thing to remember is to know your poisonous plants and avoid them. The last thing you want to do is wipe your sensitive parts with poison ivy, poison oak, or poison sumac. Stay away from plants that have leaves in groups of 3. I'm sorry. Pine needles. These are really a type of leaf, and yes, they can be used to effectively wipe after using the toilet. Granted, pine needles aren't the softest alternative, but they do a good job. Moss. If you've wiped yourself with pine needles, please leave a comment down below, as I'm sure everyone would like to know. Moss. If you have access to moss, that fungus, that green stuff that grows around mold, yes, that's a great substitute for toilet paper. You can generally pick up moss up in a chunk and wipes with it. You just need to be careful that the moss doesn't fall apart while you're using it. Pine cones. Oh my God. If you've ever wiped with pine cones, please leave a comment down below. Pine cones don't sound like they would be terribly comfortable, but they do a good job of scraping off anything that needs to be cleaned away. Plus, there is no shortage of them, whether you are in the city or in a rural area. Hemp. Wow. If you have access to hemp plants, you will find plenty of alternative toilet paper. Hemp grows quickly and is sustainable. Corn husk and cobs. Oh, I've only heard about this as a joke, but wow, it's here. This was classic cleansing item for farmhouses in the pioneer days, simply because they grew so much corn. Oh my gosh, I am not ready to see how they clean themselves with this thing. Pun intended. The husk would be saved and set aside and taken to the outhouse to use as wipes. Whew. At least they're just wiping with them. They would simply be stored in the outhouse for use when needed. If they were needed in the winter, the corn husk would be dried, even after toilet paper became available. Many people still use corn husks. Corn cobs have also been used to clean after toilet use, but the husk would be far more comfortable. Stones. Okay. As odd as this sounds, a small to a medium-sized stone that is flat and smooth. Smooth is important, okay? Can be used to clean after the use of toilet. Many ancient societies used a stone such as this to clean up after toilet use. How to make your own toilet paper. Okay, so all jokes aside, here we go. Who knew there were so many alternatives when it comes to a toilet paper? But what if you could actually make your own toilet paper? If you have paper lying around the house, then you can. Here is what you will need. Any paper, except for glossy magazine paper. A pot, water, aloe, baby oil, or any other type of unscented lotion. These act as softening agents. With hazel, optional, acts as an antibacterial agent. Grass and leaves, rolling pin, and mallet or hammer, a sheet or towel, ladle or spoon, large cutting board, or other flat board. To make the toilet paper, follow these steps. Soak the paper in water first to remove as much ink as you can, especially if you are using newspaper. Once at least 3/4 of the ink has seeped out of the paper, you can pull it from the soaked water. After you soak the paper, place it into a pot with 2 handfuls of grass and leaves and cover with water. Bring this to a boil and allow it to simmer at a low temperature for 1 hour. Bring the water to a rolling boil for half an hour. You can add water as necessary and you will find foam forms on the top that you will need to remove. After boiling, the paper becomes pulp. You can now remove the pot from the heat and remove the water from the pot without disturbing the pulp. The best method is to scoop out most of the hot water, leaving the pulp intact. 1 second. If you do need to remove the pulp from the pot, do not let it dry. You will need to put it back into the pot when the water is gone. Once the pulp has been put back into the pot, mix in 4 tablespoons of oil or lotion, which will soften the paper, and just a few drops of witch hazel if you are using it. Spread the pulp mixture on a towel or sheet spread on a hard flat surface. You can roll it out with the rolling pin, getting it as thin as possible. If there are lumps, you can hammer these down with a mallet. Lay the board on top of the rolled out pulp and weight down with heavy objects. After 30 minutes, remove the weights and the board. You can now then turn the towel or sheet over and pull it off the toilet paper. Put the toilet paper out in the sun to dry. Once dry, you can cut it into strips. Whether you have the time or the ingredients and the equipment to make your own toilet paper, or you want to find a substitute, the fact is that when society collapses or there is an event that disrupts life for a period of time, you will need something to wipe yourself after using the toilet. After all, when the SHTF, you get the idea, you just never know when or when you will see a store-bought toilet paper again. So you really need to learn how to make your own or find alternatives that work. If this video was of information to you, or informative in other words, please drop a subscribe down below. And if you thought this video was just hilarious, then again, drop a subscribe down below. There is more great content heading your way. Thank you very much, and share this with somebody else that is out of toilet paper. Thank you for watching, and again, The Last Viking TV is out.